Hello once again, fellow programmers. We have, I'd like to welcome you to this new section, which is PLC Animator. I'm our elements are, and the most important functions for our Animator PLC software. And this section is directed towards or directed to engineers who have a little bit more experience, and those of you who've already bought and analyzed our theoretical course for industrial automation introduction, or for PLCs, where we explained memories and everything that is basic so that we can understand what is needed or required to start working with our drills and our processes. Ready then? Let's get to it. Now, before anything else, before we move on, I added my camera on the bottom part because you'll see that there is no space here. I have extra space, so I think it's not going to block anyone's view or it's not going to affect my camera position. So we're going to start adding my elements that I've analyzed our previous courses, which is a theoretical part. If you haven't taken it and you don't quite understand these symbols, I strongly recommend that you go back to Introduction to Industrial Automation and PLCs so you can take the classes. Now, let's start by identifying our first element. A very important function that we added ourselves is obviously the exercise. We call this the animator. And regarding our animator, we're going to start getting our exercises, our drills, our tests, but we need to navigate through exercises. Now we can navigate two ways, one of two ways. One of them is the way that we just did it, which is moving the arrows left or right. That's one way. And something different is we might be able to select our icon for our animator. Now, if you notice, this is used to as a video player. Okay, that's how we do for scenery or scenario verifier. So from left to right, second option, we can also enter directly for our exercises and our drills for this icon. Okay, now we are going to review our following element, our line or our segment. Now, again, we've been told, guys, we can't visualize correctly our logic. It gets overcrowded. It's not efficient when we program. And we add the functionality to minimize our animator, which in this case is our icon that we have on this side. Now, this icon is to be able to expand or minimize our animator. For example, let's see here. Okay. So with this, we see our drill, our test, and it's not showing up anymore. So this does not work if we wish to add more lines. Okay. More lines to our animator. So we minimize this and we can actually see or watch the logic that we're programming. Now, another function is if I go real quick and as we start updating our app, because we are going to get better and more apps, more functions. Because, for example, we're going to get the function that while you're programming, you can start visualizing your process. But if these tags bother you, With this button that we're going to put out on the market for all you guys, you're going to be able to hide the tags and labels. Or you may very well make them reappear. So as we add the updates, we're going to add more videos to this PLC course. Now, what could happen if I wish to eliminate my line? With my eraser on this side, we can actually eliminate directly our line, especially after line number 1, because of then we would run out of lines. So by default, we added this function that the first line is always fixed. But more than the first line or anything else aside from our first line, we can erase. Okay. Now we're going to see on this side, and this is a scroll. Obviously, I have my web version, which is also about to come out. Okay, weeks actually, so that you guys can test our simulator not only on your cell phone, but we also have our other option, which is the one that I'm using, which means desktop version. Now, if I wish to eliminate another line, then I'm going to select start here, and I'm going to eliminate it. Okay, so this is great. Now, let's analyze our elements for our instructions for programming. Now, remember that these instructions are receiving signals. On that category. These are our basic instructions. And on the right side, on our right side, we have uh, that they are the timer types. And if you notice, as I start changing buttons, I'm getting new instructions on my left side. That is functionality. These are the instruction categories for programming. And on our left side, we have our instructions for that specific category. Okay, counter up, counter down, timer on delay, and timer on. So we're going to start adding more in the near future. But for instructions, here we have our mathematical calculations, routines, and our favorite instructions. Now, again, on our left side, we have programming instructions. On our right, we have our categories. Okay. Now, what else do we need to visualize? On our top side, we have our main routine. And on our right side, we have our subroutine. So the first one. So MR, main routine. On our right side, subroutine. Okay. And to leave the algorithms, or better placed, or that they have a little bit more organization, I'm going to teach this further down the line. Okay. Now, on our right side, we have our memory. You guys can access directly to our files or to your files through what types of memory devices? Inputs and outputs. What type of memory? Binary, for example, which is virtual memories. Now, this is also part of physical memories, but these are what types of memories? Analog inputs, analog outputs, and finally, we have our floaters, especially on our real data type. which is virtual memories, but with real data type. Okay? Now, what else can we visualize on our animator? Something very important here. The heart of our animator PLC, the instructions. To be able to solve a drill or a test correctly, we need to carry out an order for the process that we're going to automate. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, or instruction 1, instruction 2, instruction 3, instruction 4. And we are going to define instructions so that you guys can start basing off of something. And that is actually good for our programming. So they're programming based on these instruction lists. Now, if I select an instruction, it's going to power on. And logically, at the center of my screen, I'm going to see my text, which powers on the fan for this label, which is our output. And then after 6 seconds, we power on our fan, or semicolon 0.1, and it keeps my fan on, which is 0.0. Now this really helps so that we can start solving practically each one of my 100 exercises or drills available right now. Now, it's also optional that after analyzing our PLC Animator PLC, you can follow us on our other drill for test solving, where we're going to see our new drills and new updates so that you guys can compare and see what's the new way of figuring these out. So please follow me or follow us in our next section, and you'll notice that we're going to start solving our exercises thanks to these instructions. Trust me, guys. Based on this, in real life, it's going to be much simpler because you're going to start noticing the methodology for their algorithms and their steps right from the beginning. This is one way to see how we can program a project from scratch. Well, not one, more than 100. Okay? Now, if you guys indicate or tell it to power on fan or 2 semicolon 0.0. Okay, so let's power this on. And it's telling us to power on. So that's step 1. Step number 2, after 6 seconds, power on fan or O semicolon 0.0. And this is where we're starting to solve our problems. We started problem solving, and we're going to analyze which instructions are the ones that we're going to start using, which we're going to see also further down the line. Now let's suppose that you guys already identified the output, okay? And according to me, I'm ready. So we have our function to click on check or check mark, yeah, for each box. So I'm right now, I think instruction number 2, and I think it's correct. So check this, instruction 3, check it also, instruction 4, and so on. And you start solving your own drills. So IO listings, inputs and outputs. It's something that we added so that you guys would be able to identify quickly or more quickly for the instructions. But they need to make sense for our very famous mapping, which we explained in our previous videos. Now here, as we can see, these are physical inputs and guides so that we don't get confused. Physical digital outputs, same thing. Now what happens now? For other drills where we use more memories, especially in the end where these are many memory devices for all kinds. For example, our fuel dispenser. We can start selecting them, or if I make a mistake in an instruction, I just remove and restart. Now, you may say, well, it looks like everything is in order, but why is this not working? Well, maybe I made a mistake in a step, but this step, the first one, is failing. So let's analyze this. That's what the instructions are for. Okay. Now, IO listing, if you notice, we have more comments, we have more information, and on this side, of course, our direction type, which here together is a mapping, which, as you remember, probably is the assignment or the link between my address and my memory or my physical device, which is input or output. Same thing goes for physical input, physical output, and it's the same thing. This is for identifying, IDing, in a simpler way for all of you guys who are just getting started. Now, on the bottom part, we have a survey, which I think it's very important to mention, especially because this helps to improve. Okay. Now, our goal for you guys talking about this is because we actually read your comments. We don't keep any, we don't keep anything, we don't take anything lightly. Or if you guys don't like a drill, you can comment on this, or you can actually give us ideas on other drills and other tests. Really, we really enjoy reading your comments. We read each and every one of your comments. Okay? We comb through them and we read them very carefully and we analyze how we can always improve on any drill and any exercise. Now, on this side, as we probably already know, you guys already entered thanks to our course section for this menu, which is book. And here we have all essential information for you guys to learn PLC from scratch. So we're going to learn Animator PLC. And if you remember, for our PLC Animator basis is going to help us program basically any type of brand PLC. Because Allen Bradley and Siemens is based on ladder diagram language. And our software is also based on the same ladder language diagram. So all drills or all exercises, you're going to find them here. Now, this other button is a new function or something different that is, we're getting different ideas from them, I think, in less than a week, where ultimately you're going to be able to store your drills, your exercises independently, though. So the developers added, I think, maybe 2 memory devices, 2 slots, so that you guys can get or use these spaces for any reason at all. Okay? If you guys already solved whatever exercise, let's say the ice cream bags or the jellos in, okay? Remember the one that we were talking about? But if you want to store this because the drill itself was very good, you can go on this side. And again, give us a little bit of time and we'll have this ready for you. But with this, we're going to store each exercise. Each drill has 2 slots so that you guys don't have to overwrite all these memory devices on all these memory devices. Okay? Now, you store drill by drill with 2 available slots. For example, here, logically, is for members for PLC Academies or only for Animator PLC. Now remember that for PLC Academy, we have a series of courses, which are basic, intermediate, or advanced even. for Allen Bradley brands, Siemens, and we're also going to launch Schneider Schneider brands. Now, again, by buying your membership with a PLC, you're going to start unlocking all of this. Now, also, finally, or ultimately, we have our avatars. I don't really want to talk much about this because I have a big surprise. So I don't want to ruin it. But characters, we have on the bottom part below this main menu. Now, these are our prizes that are constantly month on a monthly basis. We have our engineers, and now we have many. So thank you guys very much. Okay. There's even engineers that are way above me. So the first engineers who have the amount of diamonds, you're going to get a special prize. Now, how do you get diamonds? You go to announcements. You get a free diamond by bonus. You get a daily bonus. We can go to the store and okay. And we can start getting continuous diamonds. Now, another different way to get diamonds is through videos in our Animator PLC. Now, we don't have that function yet, but because we're going to recover that learning. Another way to get diamonds very soon will be by exam solving or through interactive courses for exams. Now, don't get scared, guys. These are very simple tests which have been planned for us to be a little bit more practical so that we can store more practically our information. And that way we're going to see our drills. And on the side, every exercise or every drill that you solve correctly is going to give you experience points and diamonds. So the more we learn and the more we practice, we're going to be able to earn more prizes, maybe annual subscriptions, monthly subscriptions, or semester subscriptions. Okay, we have loads of surprises. Okay, it's not PLC Animator, but it's a different software, something completely different. That's all you're going to hear from me. Because if I say something else, I'm going to spoil it for you. But September, we're going to launch a different software. Okay, those types of prizes. Or we have more regional prizes, but again, I don't want to spoil them. Now, this is for in general. For our PLC Animator courses, language swap, and in the near future, if you wish to get some additional notifications, you can select this. Okay? Great, guys. So for now, this would be it. Very globally, very in general. So if you wish to know what each instruction is for, the parallels or favorite instructions like move, clear, cup. Further down, we're going to start adding more instructions for our courses updates. Please enter our PLC Academy for our Animator PLC, which is our toga. Okay? Because here you're going to be able to do many, many things soon. We have interactive tutorials in our PLC Academy so that they can start guiding you not only through my voice and my face, but that you also keep your own rhythm. So if you had any questions and you ask, I don't really remember how our timer on delay works. So we go here, choose timers, timer on delay. But also something very important is this is our tutorial. Okay, so tutorial video. These are our animated videos. They're very simple, very quick to understand, and to digest related to information. information that looks pretty complex, but we're really um, making them real, concising them. Okay? There's really no, we're making this the best we can. Now, guys, let's move on to our next part of the course. And if you wish to move directly to our exercise or drill solving, I'll see you guys there. Thank you very much, guys. Big hug.